Okay, so shed is here. It's turned up. Just put the floor down. The rest of it is at the top of the garden, out the way. I had to put in another support in the middle because the floor is floating, so that's no good. So just in the process, I'm going to start to put it together. I've got the instructions, had a bit of a read. It comes with a load of screws and bits and pieces, but I should probably use my own anyway, because those screws don't look very strong to me. Just a quick note: with all the panels come with a transportation block, which is this one here, and that needs to be removed on each one. It's just a shame they put them in with those screws. I don't want to damage the shed or the nails. So on each panel, these must come off of each one. So I'll get on and do it now. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is just going to screw these two gable ends together so it becomes one panel, and it then become easier just to prop it all up when I start to put it all together. Right, with that done, I'll get another front piece in with a window, and I'll just put this back section together. Yeah. Hey? Good. Yeah, I see that. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's coming on pretty well. It's getting there. It's a bit slow on your own, but I'm going to start to do the back side of it now. 2 more to go. Right, so it's a bit out of square, so I've got to unscrew the floor. Once I put this side bit on, unscrew the floor, push a whole lot of them this side only that way, just so it all lines up, and I get the gable ends all fitted so it's a bit more secure. The next thing to do is put the trusses in position, and you do this by using truss blocks which go on here. You screw them on, and then the truss will go on top of that. That'll go onto there, and it'll link on like so. So that goes onto there, hold it in position, you screw it in, you'll have several of these, screw it into position, and then that truss block sits underneath, screw it all together, and that's how you support your truss blocks. I'll get it done now. So that's the first truss in place, and that will stiffen up this whole shed, so I'll get the other 2 done. Now the floor, I'm noticing the floor is not as strong as I would hope it to be. It's only got about 9mm ply on it, so I will be completely reflooring this with 18mm thick ply, because it is starting to sag in places. I don't want that to happen, so it will have a complete new floor put in once I'm done. That's 2 of the trusses. Just got the 3rd truss to go up, and then I should just secure the battens over trusses just to make sure it's secure for the night, and that'll probably do me for tonight. yeah, shame I had to make my own blocks up, but that'll do. I may take them back out again just to make them a bit longer. But they're not very long and not very well supportive, so I'll have a look into it before I continue. Okay, one of the last things I want to do for tonight before it gets dark is put these supports up in the trusses. And I literally just go up in the top of the trusses to keep it all lined up. Now the other one has got a little tiny bracket to put on just to hold that into place just here. So I'm going to put a little L-shaped bracket in just to hold it, but just want to screw these down, and then that way it'll be nice and strong and it won't muck about too much in the night. Right, so the shed made it through the night. I have just gone round and just tidied a few bits up that weren't quite right. I'd put the back edge frame, the sides on the inside, should be on the outside. So that's one mistake I made. Both the ends go on the inside of the side panels, not sides on the insides of the ends. If that makes any sense, it does to me now. So next one I'll do, I'll try and get the roof on today if I can, because this weather is coming in and it's coming in bad. So the whole shed is wobbling around, and once I get the roof on, I can then secure the floor and it will stop it floating about so much. So next thing would be the roof, so I'll get a couple of sheets up and then we'll go from there. Right, that's the first sheet up. Just make sure it's nice and square when you put it onto the trusses, otherwise you'll have a problem. Okay, so just realigned the boards to actually screw on top of a truss to help give it more stability as well. So when you screw up the top edge, just wind it into the truss. So I'll continue down this side, get this side done, and then once that side's done, I'll then work my way back on across the other side. Right, mistake number two, the trusses were too high up and I had a bigger gap, so I had to drop the trusses down just so that they're level with the top beams. But that's the first side done. Just going to screw it down so it's all now fixed, and then I should get on and do the back side. Right, that's the roof all on. It was a bit of a pickle to square it up, but I had to move the gables ever so slightly just to make sure that the roofs all had support. So now I'm going to do the get the felt done, and that should do me for today, because we've got bad weather coming in again. So I was a bit conscious just to get the roof on, get it covered, so it's watertight, and then I can work at my leisure moving forward. So what I'll do is I'll put you on time lapse, and then I'll get the roof felted. Right, so that's pretty much the felt on. Just got to go around now, tidy it all up, tack it all down before the wind gets hold of it, and then I'll come back to you. There's no point you watch me just doing some tacking and I'll go from there. Right, and that's it, all felted up. I've got one repair to do just in the corner just here. There was a bit of wood's just fallen off, but I can do that. But at least it's watertight-ish for now. Once I get the windows in, doors on, and all the trimmings, we should be good to go. So I'll try and get out again tomorrow if the weather permits me, and we'll go from there. But it's not looking too bad. Right, next day. We had some severe weather last night. It did half come down. So I've managed to put windows in. I did that last night. Don't need perspex, just put the window sills in, a little plastic bit. Runs across all 4 of the windows. Stick that in, screw that in, put your glaze in, and then just put the battens up against it. It's not exactly rocket science. I shall be putting some more battens on the inside just to strengthen them up a touch. Just there's a bit of flapping going on. So just to strengthen them up, I shall be putting a bit of extra batten in, but that's my choice. It didn't come with it. I've also put the additional trims all the way around to stop the wind getting in, all that sort of stuff as well, including the ones on the edges just here as well. So that's all done. And inside, I've had a good look around. Now there was a little bit of water in here, just some little pools, nothing over this side at all. It was all over this side, just some little tiny pools of water. There's one just here, but looking above, there's nothing above for it to come in. So I'm guessing it's just where it rained whilst I was putting the windows up. So yeah, super happy so far with the way it's looking. This is right at the end of the shed, and as you can see, I've got so much more room now. The only thing I'm not particularly is the only thing I'm not particularly excited with is the height of the trusses. I'm gonna have to be conscious about banging my head. Now what I might do, I might actually lift these trusses up, put some new hardwood timbers or some metal angle iron in here to lift these trusses, and then just do away with these so that I've got plenty of walking space. I'm not overly concerned though. It's only going to be me in here, so I'll soon get used to just a duck. The idea is to put the workbench just on this side, taking up the 2 windows, or the 4 panel windows, so it will come up to here. That's where the workbench will come up to. So I'll have a 10-foot workbench, and then all my racking stuff will go against this wall once it's been plyboarded. I'll have shelving going down this side. I've got 4 shelving units which I'll have to cut because they're going to be too tall, but I don't utilise them all as I should, so I'm not too over concerned about the space on that. And then pretty much everything from this side down will be working on mower stuff. So it'll be my lift table coming here, my big tool bench on wheels, or my trolley, all that sort of stuff. So I'll have a good sort of 10-foot square work area. But before we'll be moving anything into here, I'm going to be re-plyboarding the entire floor with 18mm thick ply, so that'll get rid of any sagging issues I have got. It's going to have strip lights put up on top, probably be one here and one here, suspended. So I need to just factor that in for when I put the mover trusses up, if I decide to do that. But we'll see. What I don't want to do, I don't want to have anything to infect the integrity of the roof. So just need to think about what I'm doing there. So pretty much that's it, apart from putting the doors on, which is going to be today's task. That shouldn't be too difficult, I wouldn't have thought, but saying that, it may be really difficult, we'll have to see. But all in all, I'm impressed with it. For £800, just over £800, I've now got a workshop which is nearly, I think it's a good 5 foot, 4.5 foot longer than I had before. Nice clean canvas, it's solid. It's nowhere near as better built as my old shed, but my old shed was probably, it was second hand when I got it, and it was falling apart. The floors absolutely had it. It wasn't supported correctly on timbers. It was just a rush job just to get it in because we hadn't long moved in. So I've had it 4 years and I've abused it. So this shed won't be abused in that context. It is solid. It doesn't wobble about, doesn't move. So hopefully it should do me for a good 10-15 years. That's what I'm hoping. I'm going to creosote the outside. I'll probably actually make some proper creosote as well. I shan't be using the stuff you buy down the shop. I'll make my own creosote so that it's a lot stronger and more weatherproof. But all in all, I'm very happy with it. Just got to sort it out now so that I can get the best out of it and utilise the space. As I say, it's going to be this front section is going to be my workshop area, and the back section is going to be lawnmower fixing. I may even bring the workbench, 10-foot bench out here, have it at 8 foot, and then bring it off just to this one corner. So I've got like an L shape, and then I can just have this walk around section here with my shelving. So it'll be quite a thin access, but I'm looking to do all my carburetors and stuff. All the sit down stuff will be up this end, so just trying to utilise as much room as I've got down this one side. So yeah, I may go for an L-shaped thing. I have got a work top which is about 8 foot long, and then I've got a 2 foot smaller section, so that may actually fit in there just right, but we'll see. I'm going to make myself a workbench as well out of 4x2 before I go any further. So as I say, until the floor's laid, I won't be doing a lot in here, but it is up, it's watertight. And yeah, I'm very happy. So let's get on with the doors, see what we need to do there. I don't think there's a lot involved, but we'll have a look, see what is involved, and we'll go from there. So that's how the door should look once it's fitted. It's very echoey in here, which is nothing compared to what was in my old shed. That's something I have to get used to. As I fill stuff up, I dare say the sound will sound a bit different, and it bounces off of different objects and what have you. The door will be open. But that's how the door should look. And the first thing we have to do is just put on these thin bits of timber, and they go on just the outside, just the inside edges like so. Screw them on. That's the first thing to do. Then we can start to hang the hinges up, all that sort of stuff. And there is some external edging to put on as well to cover that gap up. I don't want it too tight because it's going to swell. It's only cheap pine this is, so that's going to swell. So I take the doors off, and then we get the engine put on, and then we go from there. I can hear one of the windows creaking already. That's why I want to secure them more. That creaking would do my head in. And that's just the door ends put in. So when the door now goes on, it'll have the gap made up to secure it, and they should button quite tight to the door edge, which is cool. So the next thing we'll do, we'll get outside, make sure the doors fit, and then we'll start to put the hinges on. I'm going to lift the doors up ever so slightly because I want the doors to be actually hanging rather than on the bottom edge. So we'll step outside and push the doors in so that it's level and hang the hinges. Just want to lift the door up into position on one screw. I might even put another screw in there actually, just so I can hold it up with two. Just want to get it in, get it propped up underneath, because that's where I want the door to hang. It's flush with the top, like so. And that'll do me there. So the hinges they give you 3 for each side, which mine are wet. So I shall hang it onto the shed first, and then fix it to a door. So you'll be able to see where the battens go across, which will be your fixing points. So my first hinge is going to want to go just there. and then just make sure you've got the hinge obviously around the right way. You want the door to open up fully. So that's where my first hinge will go. And I want it a bit higher, so I'm going to lift the door up a touch. So just a touch higher than what it already is, about centre. I want to come up to about there. So I'm going above by about 3 or 4 mil. Not a lot. Need to get myself some magnet bits, would be good. Just going to go about there. So that's the first screw in. And now I can put in the other 2. And then I want to lift that door up ever so slightly, just so it sits a bit higher than what it is, so it's actually floating. All I'm going to do is just pick the door up to about there and drill a hole into there, and actually go straight through a batten and start to hold it from there. And what I can do is I can hold it with this screw I put in, that's roughly in between. That's going to go, yeah. As you can see, that door's already swinging as it should do. I just want to brace it up with some other screws. Slightly bigger ones than that. That door now is fully functional just on one hinge. Time that's tightened up with the other ones, that should be fine. I've got some stops to put on as well, so I can stop it from going too far. So I'll get the other one screwed in and I'll come back. So that's the hinges now all put on. My little Riley boy's turned up. Hi Riley.
Hi.
You want to go in the shed, are you?
Mm-hmm.
You a little look in there? Have a walk about. That's it. He's not very well, he's off school today. So that's the first door hung. I should get some catches to catch it all back, all that sort of good stuff. So that's that one done, and that'll be my lead door. So that one doesn't have any stops put on it. It'll be the other door that'll have the stops put on it. So I'll have this one door open if need be. So that's that one done. Just got to repeat the process to the other side. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Right, so this door now won't shut fully with the other door, it's just touching. But that's because just up here, the feather edge boarding has just been overlapped ever so slightly. So what I'm going to do is take this batten off, get my saw and run it down. It's only just the top side that's overhanging. Literally there's a gap there, you see. So just want to cut it off. Don't forget, these are made in mass production and nothing is exact to a millimetre. Some of it is overhanging. I have had some experience with this shed with stuff overhanging, so it's not by much, just enough just to get the saw in there. So take that batten off and just trim the edge off. So as you can see, it's not a lot, but it's about 3 or 4 mil. When you're hanging doors, 3 or 4 mil is quite a lot, and down this side it's near enough flush, but this side it's not, it's just overhanging. So just going to run a saw down here, just take the edges off, and then hopefully that door then closes a bit better. Right, now with that bit just taken off ever so slightly, I've got to hang it yet, but that door now meets, there's a gap there. So by the time I level that door up to it wants to be about there, that door is then flush. literally that's all it was, that one bit there, was just stopping it from going back any further. So that's good. What I want to do before I continue, I want to put some door stops on, so that when this is shut, this door will actually close with a twist lock, and leave this door to open on its own. And then once I lock it up with a padlock, you won't be able to get in here unless you want to smash the doors off, but I'll just walk through the side of the wall. But door stops will go on next, and then I can then lock these as well, so I'll put them on first. It just says I can drill it through the timber rather than drilling it that way. I do. I'm going to continue that process with the top as well. I might have to move this catch down, let's see. Yeah, I will do. So the catch is going to have to go in here, just so it's more secure. So let me get that changed around and I'll come back. Right, trim's now on. Move the catch down slightly as well. So now I can close that up. And now it's secure. With all that wood split, not the best of wood, so I'll have to end up replacing that anyway. So that's that bit done. Just want to put this door catch back on the inside. I took it off. Should be on the inside of this one. I think. Right, so that's the doors now all done. Just want a bit of tidying up, a bit of more security and stability. I can now shut both doors so I can work in without the wind and rain coming in and all the rest of it. So once the floor's done, it'll be much better. I can see Mrs. P, she's out there, look. There she is, oh Mrs. P, there she is, she's down there. So I've got a much better view of the old garden now as well. I'm right out the way of it. A lot happier being down here. So yeah, that's it. I think I've got a few more bits to do. Just want to tidy up these windows. I'm not happy with them. I may even change them for glass yet, we shall see. But I want to put some framing in here, some beading, just to support it with windows. But there's a gap there, so you can move it about. So I'm going to buy some small bits of batten and just frame these windows up so they don't come out, because they are very, very tight fit. So what do I actually think about this shed, full stop? Value for money, I'll give it about an 8 out of 10. Only because there's not many places where you can buy a 20 foot by 10 foot shed for about 800 quid. So value for money, about 8 out of 10. Ease of build, well, I did it on my own. It wasn't recommended, but it wasn't too bad. Nothing was heavy, which is good. Just a bit awkward if it's a bit windy, so I'll give that another 8 out of 10 as well for ease of putting the thing up. Quality, I'm going to have to hit it quite low actually, because the quality is not all that, despite the fact it is only £800. It's still £800, it's a lot of money. They could have just used slightly beefier materials, especially with the floor. Yes, it is my fault for not upgrading, but I think that's where they get you. They want you to upgrade to a top quality floor for a lot more money. So if you upgraded on everything, including the material, the mineral felt, the floor, the doors, the roofing, you could have gone way up into about 1,800 to 2,200 pounds, somewhere in there. So it was done on the cheap, so I can't knock it for that. But all in all, for usability, once I put the new floor in, I think I'm going to get some good use out of this, and hopefully you guys will benefit as well. I've got much more light coming in. It's already more lighter than it was in my old shed. So I've got loads more light coming in. I may even yet go around the back here and punch some holes into here and frame up some windows in here, just some small ones. But we'll see. But with the front, with the doors open as well on top, that'll allow even more light in straight away. So already we're going to be much better off. By the time I get my stuff in here, it probably won't happen till after Christmas. So we'll all still be in the old shed, but I'll be moving stuff in. I need to get the electric sorted out, which is not going to be no easy task, due to the fact that it's going to be roughly 250 metres of armoured cable required to get up to the top of the garden and get it plumbed in. So that's going to be quite expensive to do that, and it's not an expense I can have just before Christmas with the kids and what have you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Micks Mowers, where we put together a new workshop. There's a few more bits to do. I've got to paint it and everything else, but I'm very, very impressed with it. So thank you very much, and I'll catch you on the next one.